Welcome to the CEO Project Podcast, where Jim Schleckser, author of the best-selling book, Great CEOs Are Lazy, and the founder of the CEO Project, provides ideas and tools to help CEOs of mid to large-sized companies grow and optimize their businesses. Now, let's get started with the show. Hey everybody, Jim Schleckser, and you are with the CEO Project Podcast. AI, I know we've had a bunch of shows on AI, but we have a really interesting effort that's guiding some of the largest companies on the planet about how do they transform their business using AI. Geoff Woods is the #1 international best-selling author of The AI-Driven Leader. For those of you watching in it's behind him on his wall. Yeah. And the founder of AI Leadership, where he empowers leaders to harness AI, escape operational overwhelm. Oh, wow. Harness AI, escape operational overwhelm, and think strategically to accelerate growth. As the former chief growth officer, which is an interesting place to come from, and even more, Jindal Steel and Power, which is even more interesting to be an AI guy coming out of that. His guidance helped their market cap grow from 750 million to over 12 billion in 4 years. He also co-founded the training and consulting company behind Jack Parlance, where he coached and advised companies with annual revenues from 10 million to 60 billion. Hey, Geoff.
Hey, Jim.
I love the reference to Curly.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You got to be a movie guy to know it, though.
Yeah. City Slickers all the way.
The one thing, right?
Well, that's actually where it came from. My old partner, Gary Keller, who started Keller Williams, was watching City Slickers. And he saw that scene where Curly, holds up the #1. And Billy Crystal goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "That's the one thing." What's that? That's what you got to figure out. And that really impacted Gary as he was building Keller Williams to realize, okay, we're dividing our focus across all these different things. But what's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? And when you really narrow your focus to the thing that matters most, it's amazing what happens.
Yeah, we talk about focus equals growth.
Yes.
And there's the old Chinese expression, a man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. So yeah, very aligned. So, okay, steel company and growth officer, which means you're responsible for revenue. What turned you into an AI expert? Like, how did that experience get you to this place? It's kind of a weird launching pad, I'd say.
So we have to go back a little bit further.
Okay.
We go back to college. My senior year, I'm doing an internship, and I sit down with the CEO, Jim, right before I graduate, and I asked him what job he thought I should get after school.
Okay.
He leans in and he goes, "Geoff, you're asking the wrong question."
Oh.
That surprised me. He goes, "You really should be asking, what are the skills I can master that are so valuable? They'll serve me no matter where I go. Then go find jobs that will help you build those skills." Best career advice I've ever received. So my entire career, I've been asking, what are the right skills I should master? When I was building the company behind the one thing, I had to master the skill of asking leaders the right questions to narrow their focus to unlock new levels of growth.
Okay.
One of my clients was Naveen Jindal, who's the chairman of Jindal Steel. When I sold my stake in the one thing, Naveen calls me and asked, "Will you come in-house?"
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Maybe. What's the job?" And he goes, "You tell me." Now, this is a big company, about 100,000 people, global footprint. Yet all these different operating companies were playing like their own team versus recognizing that there was an entire group that if we played as a group, there could be synergies that could unlock new levels of growth. So I stepped in as chief growth officer over everything. And over a 4-year period, the focus was very narrow. It was strategy, execution, people, and technology. So for every operating company, strategy was about defining their future competitive advantage. So what's the business that'll put you out of business? What would it look like if you were the one to build it first? Let's get clear on that. Then execution, can we have a focused business plan that we will actually stay focused on? Then people. I had this huge realization, Jim. Why do we hire people in a company?
Hopefully to execute our strategy.
Yeah, and achieve the goals. How often do goals and strategy change?
Depends on the company. Some of them are every week.
All the time.
Some are every week, and some are more frequent.
Next question. How often do job descriptions change?
Irregularly at
Bingo.
best. Yeah.
And this was my realization is, okay, we have 100,000 really talented people. but they're not even aiming at the right targets because we keep changing the target
Yeah,
and
don't even know what
we're
they are.
bingo. Well, how might you dynamically realign a workforce of that size?
Okay.
You'd have to look to tech.
Mm-hmm.
It was December of 22 when I saw ChatGPT for the first time. It had literally only been out for 2 weeks. And when I saw it, I saw the next skill.
Now, neat. Okay. Neat.
But I had all the same limiting beliefs that I think everybody else had at a senior level, which is one, I'm really busy.
Yep.
I'll get to it later.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, can't I just delegate this to IT?
No.
Or three, I mean, we're a big company. I can hire any consultant in the world. Can't I just hire a consultant to do this for us?
Mm-hmm.
But then I wondered, what if this was the skill worth mastering? What if
Mm-hmm.
this would serve me no matter where I go? And so I just made it a priority to use it every day.
Mm.
Problem is, I was using it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I was asking myself the wrong questions. I was asking, how do I use this to write a better email? And it felt
Right.
like a waste of time. But I had this realization, Jim, one day that my career has been defined by asking leaders the right questions to unlock new levels of growth. But
Mm-hmm.
here I am asking AI questions. Could I turn the tables and get AI to ask me the right questions to elevate how I think?
Okay. Interesting.
That's when I discovered the idea of using it as a thought partner instead of
Mm-hmm.
using it as a Google or as an assistant. That changed everything. I showed the
Yep.
chairman how I was using it for strategy, and he goes, "This is incredible." I go, "Yeah, it's the future." He goes, "I agree.
Yep.
We should drive through the whole company." He goes, "I agree." But
Go
I said, "You
teach,
need
go
to
teach everybody.
bingo." But I
Yeah.
said, I mean, this is India, very hierarchical. I said,
Yes.
"You need to own this as chairman of the board." And he goes, "I disagree.
Nah.
Why don't you do it?" The problem, Jim, is I know nothing about AI.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech guy.
No, but you could be the one-eyed man in the land of the blind.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And something I learned from Gary Keller is anytime you're hitting a ceiling of achievement, you're
Mm-hmm.
just missing a person.
Mm.
If you're asking, how do I drive this through the company? Are you really asking the right question? Or could you ask, who could I get into a relationship with that could enable me to drive this through the company?
Got it.
That led to a partnership with Google. I learned a lot about the tech working with them and figured out very quickly almost every company in the world is focused on the tech.
Yep.
The tech is not the difference that makes the difference. It's the leaders who harness it. So
Interesting.
I decided to do something about it, wrote The AI Driven Leader. It's now the #1 book in the world for AI, and have built a company called AI Leadership.
Nice. So, if we've got most of our audience are entrepreneurs and CEOs,
Yeah.
they're going, okay, I get that I have to sort of fully digest this and get after it pretty hard to transform my company. What would you recommend they do besides buy your book, obviously? But what else would you recommend they do?
Is good leadership do as I say, not as I do?
So they've got to demonstrate.
Or do they lead? Yeah, bingo. Most C-level is still not really wielding this technology themselves.
Yep.
And
Oh,
frankly,
wow. Okay.
it's not their fault because they were never shown how to. That's what my book did. I'll give you a real example. I have a very simple framework for communicating with AI called CRIT.
Okay.
CRIT stands for context, role, interview, task.
Got it.
Every prompt I write, I give it lots of context. I assign it a role where I tell it to become a certain type of expert on my behalf.
Yep.
Interview, I turn the tables and make it interview me to ask me questions to pull deeper context out of my head so then it can accomplish a task, which is whatever I want it to do. Real use case. I sit down with CEO calls me and says, "We got a problem. We are venture backed. We're racing toward an exit over the next 24 months. But despite us killing our goals every quarter, every year, we have a hostile board.
Wow. That's
Every quarter,
wild.
yep, every quarter is a bloodbath. 50% of my executive team's time is wasted throughout the month with board distractions. The chairman just calls me and says our relationship is so dysfunctional. He's going to give me 6 months to turn it around. But if I can't rehab the relationship with the board by the second board meeting, he's firing me, my whole executive team, and bringing in a new one."
Wow. And yet the performance was there. So this is
Correct.
purely
Correct.
relational. People
Correct.
wouldn't think that's an AI problem.
Correct. And he comes to me and goes, I asked him, "What are you going to do?" And
Nah.
he goes, "Honestly, Geoff, I don't know. I swear, like, it's not us, it's them. It's like these guys have all this childhood trauma they've never healed. They think we're their punching bag.
Nah.
Can AI help?"
The unhealed trauma of the board.
So I said,
Wow.
I said, "Maybe. Can you get your executive team on Zoom right now?" And he goes, "Yeah. What do you have in mind?" I said, well, I'm wondering if we can create an AI board.
Okay.
He goes, excuse me? I said, well, I'm wondering if I can get AI to interview your executive team about one director until it understands them on such a deep level that it can create a personality profile for them that we could put into a custom GPT with the right instructions. So we could feed the AI board your deck for the meeting before the meeting so that it could review every slide as every director and tell us everything they'll say before they ever say it.
Wow. What was the accuracy of that model?
Well, first thing he asked is, that sounds awesome, but how much time is that going to take? How many months? I only got 6 months here.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
said, oh, I think we'll be done in an hour.
Yeah.
Well, how the heck are you going to do that? Crit.
Yeah.
Here's the actual prompt I wrote to start to create an AI board. Context. I'm the CEO of, and I named the company. We're venture backed. We're racing toward an exit over the next 24 months. Our biggest challenge is a hostile board. Every quarter is a bloodbath. 50% of my executive team's time is wasted throughout the month with board distractions. We crush our goals every quarter, every year. But despite that, we have a hostile board. I swear it's not us. I swear it's them. It's like they have all this childhood trauma they've never healed and they think we're their punching bag. The chairman just called me and said, I got 6 months to turn this around or he's firing me and my whole executive team. Like literally everything I said to you, Jim, that was the context section.
Got it. Yep.
Your role is to act as an HR professional with deep expertise in creating personality profiles. Interview me.
Yeah.
Ask me one question at a time, up to 5 questions to gain deeper context about one board member. Then your task is to create a personality profile for her we could use to train a GPT to simulate them in an AI board.
Mom. Okay.
So I don't know how many downloads you get, but everybody's rewinding the podcast episode right now.
Yeah, well, you're helping. I appreciate it.
AI conducts an interview and spits out a personality profile about Susan.
Got it.
I look straight at the CEO and I say, don't trust it because AI makes things up.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, tell it what you like about the profile. Tell it what you don't like about the profile. Tell it the top changes. If you do those 3 things, this is for you who's listening. If you any response you get, if you don't accept it, but instead you say, here's what I like about it, here's what I don't like about it, and here's the top changes, you stay the thought leader with AI as a thought partner, your quality goes through the roof.
Yep.
With that feedback from the CEO, it regenerates the profile. He reads it and he goes, holy smokes, that's her.
Yep.
We did that for every director to test it, Jim. We took the deck from last quarter, gave it to the AI board and said, give us your feedback. Take a wild guess how long it took AI to read over 60 slides as every director and to start to tell us what they would say.
No, I don't know. 3 minutes.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
It was slow that day.
Well, didn't think deeply.
One of the things it called out, it said on page 8, Susan's going to get distracted by all the details of the slide. This is going to lead to a 30-minute detour. It's going to derail your entire agenda. Instead of all the details, just say these 3 things because it's what she cares about most.
Wow.
I look straight at the CEO. He's literally leaning back in his chair with his arms crossed, and he goes, that's exactly what happened.
Oh, my God. Wow.
So long story short, you fast forward 6 months, chairman calls the CEO and says, this is the best board meeting we've ever had and the best deck we've ever seen. It actually saved their jobs.
Wowzy. That is phenomenal.
This is an example, and I'm talking ChatGPT here, by the way.
Yeah.
How open-minded, this is for you, the listener. How open-minded would you be to the idea that you might be using AI for the 80% tasks that only drive 20% of the results? What might the 20% use cases be that drive 80% of the results? And this is where, this is the CEO project. We're talking to senior level executives.
Yep.
Your ability to think strategically is the difference between growing your business or going out of business.
Yep.
Use AI to elevate how you think.
Love it.
As a thought partner.
We talk about the point of constraint. Like any system you can name has a point of constraint that controls the whole system.
Oh, yeah.
So find it and fix it. That's the job of the CEO.
With theory of constraints?
Yeah, my first book is based on it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That was the thing we drove in Jindal. I mean, that's
huge. I'm a
find the constraint, exploit the constraint, subordinate everything else to the constraint.
Yep, and true for the entire business, not just manufacturing. Like Goldrat, his first book was on, really.
Correct.
Awesome. I've used it before for sales calls, just to give you a little different use case. I said,
How so?
here's who's going to be in the sales call. I'd say, go build me a profile on Geoff. What is he going to be interested in? What would be ways I could connect to him? And what are his primary concerns going to be? So I didn't go as deep as you did, but it was phenomenal. I walked in, I knew how to build relation. I knew where the
Yeah.
concerns were going to be before anybody said a word. So
Double high five.
it
Can I
works.
can I
But it
share can I
wasn't as
share
deep as what
some
you did.
some additional ways you can use it there?
Yeah, go.
If you've already built the profile, simulate the sales call.
Oh, yeah.
I was prepping for a presentation to a big company, and I literally keep this sticky note on my desk that says, "How can AI help
Ah,
me do this?"
good.
Because every day I'm doing something the old way, and this reminds me to do it the new way. And then I've got another sticky note that says context role interview
Yeah.
task. Like
You
this
need
is
to
literally,
you need to print up sticky pads like that and
oh
hand them
man,
out, buddy.
this is literally for you who's listening to this. If you only take one thing from this session, get two sticky notes and a Sharpie, and on one write, how can AI help me do this? On the other write context role interview task. Keep them on your desk or on your computer. It'll change your life.
Nice.
I look down and I see that sticky note, Jim.
Mm,
And I'm like, well, I'm prepping for the meeting. How can AI help prep? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I wrote crit, and I drag and dropped the proposal in and told it that I wanted it to simulate the C-level exec and their chief of staff. I described
nice.
both personas. I told it I was going to flip this to voice mode so that I could actually deliver the pitch. I wanted it to be a 10 out of 10 tough when it came to throwing objections, not to please me, but to really challenge me. And when I would say the words all done, it knew the pitch was over. And I then wanted it to give me feedback on
Mm,
what I did well, what I didn't do well, and the top changes I should make.
love
I
it.
literally flipped it into voice mode. I'm going through the pitch. It's interrupting me. It's throwing objections. I'm handling them. At the end, I say all done. One of the things it called out, Jim, was that it said, you're asking for a material investment and you have not shown an ROI.
Great feedback.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that?
Yep.
Tough
Yep.
to read the label when you're inside the box.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I went, I actually don't know what the ROI is. Give me 3 creative solutions.
Mm,
And it said, well, how about you turn the tables and get the exec to defend the investment?
mm,
If the meeting's going well, turn the tables and make them sell it to you.
yep.
And so
Yep.
I literally created a slide in the deck that said, defend the investment. And we got to that point and I said, all right, who are you going to have to sell this to? And he goes, our CFO. I said, great. I'm your CFO. You just pitched me. My answer is no. Tell me
Mm-hmm.
why it should be a yes.
Wow.
And literally the whole time he's talking, my AI note taker is transcribing every single word. I said, all right, I got it. I'll update the deck and I'll send it to you. I pulled the transcript, pulled it back into the same thread and said, use the transcript, specifically the section where he defended the investment, and create content for a tight 1-page slide for a budget conscious CFO. And it literally
Mm,
created the slide, which I put in, made a few tweaks because I'm the thought leader,
yep.
sent it, deal got done.
Wow.
So that's one.
By the way, this ties to a Zig Ziglar comment. He says, everybody's expert at doing the financial analysis. You got to get them emotionally committed. They'll figure out the math to justify the
Bingo.
investment. So it was great. It was elegant.
Now let's talk about how do you train a salesperson?
Yeah, they're not trainable. No, I'm kidding.
The,
I'm kidding.
the person that was running business development for me, I promoted to be president of the company,
Nice.
meaning he had to backfill himself.
Mm-hmm.
We hired a woman, and I asked him, how are you going to train her? And he
Mm-hmm.
goes, well, I've got my scripts. I'm going to train her on the scripts. I'm going to do some role playing with her. I'm going to listen to some of her calls. And I went, yeah, that's the old way. What would the AI driven way be? And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll have to think about that. You got any ideas? I said, yeah. Don't you use an AI note taker on every sales call you do? He goes, yes. I said, how about we pull the transcripts from the last 100 sales calls, as well as the conversion data of who signed up and who didn't, pull it all into ChatGPT, write crit, where you give it the context about what's happening, have it act as a expert in sales operations who's world class at reviewing actual calls to create the best script possible, have it
Mm-hmm.
interview you to pull deeper context out of your head, and then task will be to create an updated script. And once you approve that, have it go to the next step, which is to turn that into custom instructions for a GPT with a scorecard so that when Ivy finishes her sales call, we can have the transcript automatically sent to the GPT. It'll review the transcript and automatically Slack her and tell her what she did well, what she didn't do well, and the top changes she should make in the next 5 minutes before her next call.
Nice.
That's how we're training our salespeople.
Oh my gosh. How's it working?
It works.
It works. Awesome. I'm going to have it listen to my sales calls from here on in.
Can we fly up to 10,000 feet real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sharing these ideas to show you what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get to ground level.
Mm-hmm.
Your job as a leader is to lead your company to survive and grow despite a lot of ambiguity about the future. I think we all agree AI is here to stay. Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, said that everything you know about your business is going to be different within 5 years.
I think
Not
that's
10,
probably
5.
true. No, I agree. He might be being a little too conservative.
Correct. If you hear there's a tidal wave coming that's going to change everything you know about your business, is that something that you say, let me delegate that to IT?
Yeah.
Get in the game. And it just starts by you recognizing that you using this technology is one of the top priorities of your job. But use it in a 20% place that matters. Use it to help you think through your toughest problems. Just write crit once a day, every day. In 30 days, you'll be playing at a completely different level.
That's phenomenal. Any view on which AI LLM is superior, or
Yes.
is it fit for purpose? How do you think about it?
They're all the same
Okay.
and they're all different. The differences are not the 20% that makes the difference.
So pick one. As long as you've got the right topic in front of it, it doesn't matter.
As long as you've got the right security permissions in place. So most of you are caring about privacy and security. So you got two options. You're either going off the shelf where you literally create an account, or you do enterprise where you physically host the model on your own server and you have a tech team that builds a walled garden. Minimum investment on that is 100 grand. So you got to, and up. You got to decide if that's worth the investment. If not, to my knowledge, there are 3 to date that you can get to not train on your data without an enterprise license. ChatGPT for Business.
Okay.
Does not train on your data per their terms and conditions. Copilot, if you're paying for it, does not train on your data. And I heard Gemini actually just switched their terms of service that they're no longer training. If you have a paid subscription, I have not validated that one personally yet. Anthropic used to not, but they just changed their terms of service to say they are now starting.
Yeah, interesting. Before we went on air, we were talking about relative speed, right? And so I was always a big fast cycle time guy. So the idea is build competitive advantage by, the joke is I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
Yes.
Since everything's going to be AI in 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, whatever the number is, right? Fully deployed. Is the question, I just need to be ahead of my competition on my deployment and my utilization, or is there some other factor I should be thinking about?
Well, if in the context of competitive advantage,
Yep.
Most people, I think, are misinterpreting where their competitive advantage is going to come from.
I think a lot of them don't know it. They don't know what it is.
No, they don't. They don't today, and they definitely don't know what it is in the future. But AI is not going to be your competitive advantage.
Agreed. It's a tool to help you deliver it.
That's like saying we have a competitive advantage because we use Microsoft Word.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Or we use the internet.
By
That's
the way,
why we win.
My favorite one when I talk to a CEO is I go, our people really, really care. I'm like, that's it? And they go, yeah. I'm like, you don't think your competitors got people really care? I mean, yeah.
So in the short term, can you gain a lead in the market with AI? Yes, you can, but most of AI is going to become a source of competitive parity. There will come a day when all of the productivity gains, everybody's got them.
Yep.
All the optimization, everybody's got them. If you study competitive advantage, competitive advantage comes from your internal capabilities that are either valuable, rare, or costly to imitate. Meaning, what makes you you? So part of this is going on a journey to understand what is it about us that we deliver that is valuable, that is rare, that is costly to imitate. Can you define what those things are? Then ask the question, if I apply AI to this capability, will it strengthen it or
Mhm.
might it undermine it? It could undermine it. If it undermines it, then you don't use AI
Give
in
me an
that situation.
example of undermining because that's a little scary.
Oh, let's say that one of your core defensible capabilities is human to human relationship.
Okay.
You could go down the path of, well, how do we use AI so we never have to talk to our customers again? That's gonna undermine it. That is
Yeah.
not what you should be doing. Now,
Yeah.
how might we harness AI to enhance how we interact with people versus replace our interaction with people? That would be an example.
Got it. Yeah. So AI-driven Nordstroms is probably not the answer, meaning replacing the people. You still need
Correct.
that touch. Okay.
Correct.
Got it. Interesting.
So that's my thoughts on competitive advantage. And by the way, this also applies to you. There is a lot of fear and anxiety in the market about around job displacement.
Oh yeah. My God. Yeah.
I knew I was going to have an answer for that when I wrote the book.
hmm
So I went back because I realized this is not the first time technology has changed things in human history.
Yeah. Let's start with the wheel and work our way forward.
Yeah. So I went back and I started to
Yeah.
study like
Yeah.
printing press, steam
Yeah.
engine, assembly line, electricity, internet. One of the interesting patterns I spotted, Jim, was in every technological shift in history, it made certain human skills more valuable
hmm
and certain human skills less valuable.
Okay. Yep. Fair.
And if you ask, what is a job? What is a job? It's a formula. Job equals the skills you apply times the processes you follow.
Yeah. To create value.
Bingo.
That's
There
it.
are certain skills and processes you are currently following that are going to skyrocket in value. And there are certain skills and processes you are following that are going to plummet in value.
hmm
The interesting realization was if you go back to Industrial Revolution, because of the assembly line, we
hmm
stopped focusing on developing the skills that are unique to us as humans
Hmm.
and started focusing on developing skills more like machines.
Yep. Yeah. Well, this is Frederick Taylor and the time
Yep.
and motion studies, right?
Yep.
So,
We stopped acting like humans and started acting like machines. Jim, who do you think's better at acting like a machine?
the robots that are in Tesla.
Correct. This is AI going to replace you or might it liberate you?
Yep. No, that's fair.
I
Now, I
think,
think the concern is for people because you talked about learning. There are people, and you've bumped into them, they're like, I can't learn anymore. I don't want to learn anymore. I'm not curious like that. I'm not gonna,
yeah,
I am who I am, right? I'm like, I think they are kind of roadkill if they're not willing to expand their, but there are a lot of people that that is their mental set.
they are choosing. And by the way, that type of person has existed throughout history.
Of course.
And history teaches us that those people, life gets pretty hard for
Yep.
until life gets so painful that they are forced to make a change.
There
So
you
this
go.
is where it's all up to me why it's so important about mindset and about leadership. We got to
Mhm.
meet people where they're at. The people that are growth minded on this, yes, challenge them. Show me how you can harness this to bring 10 times or 100 times more value to the company, which I could tell you a story about how I did that with my assistant. It's wild.
Mhm.
The people who are fearful or anxious, meet them where they're at. Hey, I get it. Change is hard, but you didn't pop out of the womb knowing the skills to do this job. You were able to
Sure.
learn them. And by the way, there's a world you might be with us in 5 years with the same title, but I promise you the skills you apply and the processes you follow will be different. Are you willing to learn? And if the
hmm
answer is no, then they are making a choice to limit their options for the future. And I have empathy
Yep.
for those people.
Yep. You know, I listened to Simon Sinek the other day, and he talks about, the technology adoption cycle and where you
Yes.
should focus your time. And people talk about focusing on, the big hump in the middle, the 60%. It's like,
Innovators and early adopters.
he says, well, you get between 15 and 20% acceptance, it tips.
Yes.
So you don't need to convince everybody. You need to get those early, like aggressive, hungry people. You get them on sides, you get them doing it. That's what brings the rest of the crowd. Don't spend your time on the rest of the crowd. If somebody says, I'm afraid, you go, totally get it. We'll get to you later.
Yeah. And this is where like we focus mostly on mid-market companies and then we're getting pulled into enterprise. The the number of enterprise leaders that say, "Oh yeah, we've adopted AI. Everybody has Copilot or everybody has chat."
Yeah.
No, you don't. You just put a tool in people's hand with no training, and now you've lost the first impression. Versus if we can just narrow the focus down to a core group of innovators and early adopters and get them to use this really strategically the way I'm talking about,
Right.
and start to publish their results and their success stories, then you get the next cohort on board and you work the kinks out. Then you get the next cohort on and you work the kinks out. It's like dominoes. You just knock one down at a time.
Yeah, and I think it scares a lot of entrepreneurs and CEOs. So they go, "Oh my God, how do I get everybody on sides?" Like the answer is you don't. You know, when you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. We're gonna
One
take
bite
it.
at a time.
Right.
That's the
So
answer.
tell us the 100x value multiplier as a
Oh,
way
it's so
to
good.
close this out. That sounds like a good story.
So my assistant was 90 days in and she was killing it. 10
Nice.
out of 10 on all her scorecards every week, which meant it was time to raise her goals.
Yep. Yep.
We're a
Yeah,
growth
man.
organization.
I'm
Time
there.
time to create more opportunity. And so I said to her, I want you to use AI and write crit and come back to me with a vision for how you can bring 10 times to 100 times more value to the company.
Wow.
Now, let's be clear, Jim. That's all I said to her. Before working with me, she knew how to spell AI. That was it.
Yep.
And, she read the book. She sat in one of the trainings we did for a company. She knew how to write crit. That's it. She comes back the next week and she goes, I'm ready. And I go, for what? And she goes, I got my vision. I go, oh, let's go. She goes, okay, for me to 10 times my impact in the company, here's the 20% things I'm currently doing that I need to double down on because they have the sufficiency to drive a 10x return. Here's the things I'm not doing that I should start doing to drive a 10x return. Here's a list of all the things I'm currently doing that I'm going to have to stop doing. And I've segmented that into 3 groups. Here's the things we should just stop. They don't matter. Here's the things I think we can use AI to augment or automate. And here's the things that still require a person. So I have realized I need to hire my own assistant. Here's the job description. Here's the 20% they have to focus on. And here's their 90-day onboarding plan. And here's their comp. Do I have your approval?
Wowsy.
I went, approved. And I was like, great, what's next? And she goes, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, what you got? She goes, that's for me to bring 10 times more value. But that's not what you asked for. You asked for 10 to 100 times. But my realization is for me to bring 100 times more value, I have to make you 100 times more valuable.
Okay.
Here's a prompt I have architected so that AI will interview you to help you identify how you will bring 100 times more value. Jim, I look at her and I go, I can't wait to do this. She goes,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to do it now. I'll wait.
Yeah, nice.
And she waits while AI interviews me and it spits out. Here's the 20% you're currently doing, you got to double down on. Here's what you're not doing that you got to start doing. Here's all the things you're doing that you got to stop doing. But it did something different, Jim. It created what she called bright line rules and a system that we would have to install in the company so that it would transform how I allocate my time.
Nice.
It was one of the most valuable prompts I had ever done. And I go, this is amazing. Really good job. She goes, good. I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
And she asked me, Geoff, who's your worst enemy? I said, myself. And she goes, who loves to break the rules? I'm like, this guy.
Yeah.
And she goes, exactly. So here's another prompt I architected where AI is going to interview you to find out all the ways you're going to try to weasel out of your own rules. And it's going to create a defense process. So anytime you want to break one of your own rules, you're going to have to go through AI first. And it's going to challenge your thinking on this and show you the economic impact of you saying no to what you should be saying yes to.
Nice.
She has completely restructured my calendar based on this. She is now in the process of building an actual dynamic scoreboard that tracks my adherence to the rules and the financial impact to the company.
Wow. Freaky. That's amazing.
By the way, this is a virtual assistant in South America.
Nah, no kidding.
Might we are you starting to see why this is a leader's job?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think one of the greatest realizations, Jim, is, for you who's listening to this, what if you didn't have to become an AI expert? What if you just had to become an AI-driven leader? Meaning you knew just enough about the tech to be able to cast a vision for the future, define your strategy for how you're going to win, and start to lead the change. And then when you hit the ceiling, you ask, who are we missing outside that if we could bring in could help us take it the rest of the way? It starts with you.
Love it. On that note, Geoff, this was fabulous. Really good insights, just crazy, and a very different way of thinking about AI than I've heard before. So really awesome. If somebody wanted to engage you and have you help them on this journey, what would be the best way to do that?
Yeah. So first and foremost, the AI-Driven Leaders, the book, get it on Amazon, Audible, Kindle. Our website is aileadership.com. We do 3 things. We do training for executive teams and offsites. We have the world's largest network of non-technical C-level leaders called The Collective, where you come into this peer network membership model. We surround you with peers from different organizations and industries, and we guide you on how to drive this through the company. But you collaborate with all these other leaders, and you have access to all the ways that they're driving it. You end up with way more intelligence than any of your competition could ever have. And then there are some companies that we actually do advisory with where we partner with the executive team and drive it in the company in a way that moves the enterprise value.
Love it. Awesome. For those of you worrying about AI, sounds like a path you got to consider. Thanks again, Geoff. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Jim.
And thank you for everybody who joined us today. I hope you got a lot of value, and we will see you next time at the CEO Project Podcast. Thanks for listening to the CEO Project Podcast. We'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe to get all the future episodes and check out our website, www.theceoproject.com.